Howdy, it's Jimmerado, and this is October 2022, still in Roswell, Georgia, and going by Bulloch Hall. Gotta take a quick visit here. This was the home that Theodore Roosevelt's mother grew up in, and then she also married Theodore Roosevelt Sr. here. There it is, right there. I actually took a tour here, kind of a self-guided tour. They have a number you can call, and kind of use your your cell phone as a guide. So I went through, and I thought I would put just about a 10-minute video up, showing you each room. I'm not going to talk too much about each room because, well, there's little signs you can read if you want. By the way, right there on the right, that's Mitty's Gift Shop. If you're in Roswell, stop there. That place is incredible. They have some great local artsy kind of gifts, local books signed by the authors. Just a really unique, nice gift shop. And I spent a lot of time and money there after my tour. But yeah, here was Teddy Roosevelt's parents got married here. His mom grew up here. Here's the library, and a couple of things I was just thinking about with this home, and I was looking on Wikipedia, and again, I hate to go too much from Wikipedia as a source, but President Roosevelt, did not grow up in this home or this area, but he came back to visit as president in 1905, and got to give Wikipedia some good credit here because they have a nice write-up about this. Theodore Roosevelt, who had begun his presidency on reasonably good terms for a half-northern president, had infuriated the South by inviting Booker T. Washington to dine at the White House. Consequently, he waited a few years until the episode blew over and finally visited Bulloch Hall for the first time while touring the South in 1905. He was thought to be the first sitting president of the United States to visit the South since the end of the Civil War. However, this is incorrect, as William McKinley had visited the South earlier while celebrating the victory of the Spanish-American War. That's pretty heavy. Think about that for a while. 1905, that's almost a half century after the Civil War, and that was still an issue. And he of course spoke there. It was a big deal. There's a photo. Actually, I think you could see it earlier in this video of President Roosevelt in front of the house with friends and family, including a couple of former slaves that had worked here that are in that photo. And I think that is just, again, that's heavy. I mean, just think about that for a while. And of course, here's the house, and they do talk about the slave labor. They've kind of reconstructed slave quarters, not in the back, but kind of to the side of the house. So, and then there's also a piece of furniture that was built by one of the slaves that worked here. So they're doing a good job of interpreting here. It's a short tour. You can probably go through all the rooms and listen to the descriptions, read the signs. Half hour, 45 minutes. When you get upstairs, they do get into a little more detail of some of the other family members' lives, including James Dunwoody Bulloch, who operated blockade runners for the Confederacy and was very much involved in the Confederacy. His half-sister Martha was the mother of Teddy Roosevelt. So, and paternal grandmother of First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. Yeah, so you get into James Dunwoody Bulloch and his extensive Confederate history. And just looking on Wikipedia again, they let's see, Bulloch arranged for the purchase by British merchants of Confederate cotton, as well as the dispatch of armaments and other war supplies to the South. His Secret Service funds are alleged to have been used to plan the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. Anyway, there's obviously quite a bit of rabbit holes you can go down just right there. Yeah, so that the family obviously had very strong Confederate ties. And then also of note is literally, well, not right beside it, but the closest house to Bulloch Hall is Jimmy Carter's aunt's house. And it's referred to as the White House of Roswell, or Jimmy Carter's Roswell White House, because he spent a lot of time there. She's passed away, and family doesn't live there now. I believe it's a law office. But of course, if you're down here looking at historic homes, it's a pretty interesting place to go to. In fact, after I did my tour here, I walked over to it and looked at it, got a couple pictures, and it's kind of exciting. I believe I've mentioned before in other videos that Jimmy Carter still lives in Plains, Georgia, and it's been a few years, but he goes to church every Sunday and teaches Sunday school, and you're welcome to go sit in his Sunday school class. And obviously you've got a president teaching Sunday school. It's not like what I remember when I was a kid in Sunday school with a small room full of 5 or 6 other people. It's it attracts hundreds of people. There's Secret Service, and there's even when we did it, about an hour orientation before church, basically telling you what to do and what not to do. Yeah, so just a ton of presidential history right here in this little town, with Jimmy Carter and Teddy Roosevelt. There was a lady working here on this particular day, from the area, and we were talking about Jimmy Carter and how you can go to Plains and literally go to church with him. If you go to Sunday school and church, afterwards you can get your picture taken with Jimmy Carter and his wife, Rosalind. And that's what an incredible thing to do. Of course, his old high school, several buildings associated with him are managed by the National Park Service. I believe the home he currently lives in will go to the National Park Service after he passes away. And thank God he's still around. He's in his 90s, and I'm so happy that he is still with us. But anyway, yeah, back to Bulloch Hall. Just lots to see. Obviously, they've got the place set up real nice, and kind of with the time period and all. And there are a couple of photos of the former family slaves that were taken in 1905 when Teddy Roosevelt visited, and they're great photos, and just kind of something rare to see. Oh, and something else that I noticed as I was touring, after you do your home tour, you go upstairs, and it's sort of set up like a museum. Lots of President Roosevelt relics, lots of relics from the family, and just information about not just Teddy, but the others who lived here. Obviously a politically prominent family. I guess now I'll always think of Georgia and New York when I think of Teddy Roosevelt. But Margaret Mitchell, of course, of Gone with the Wind fame, was writing for a newspaper when Teddy Roosevelt's parents got married, and she did an article about their wedding, which I think is neat. And upstairs, yeah, here in this little museum, I'll just put up a few pictures that I took up in kind of the museum-y area. They have like a poster of that article, and you can grab one and take it home with you. I thought that was pretty nice. And Roswell is a town that, just in its own right, it's a great town. I'll put up some other videos just about Roswell because I enjoyed driving around this town. It got a lot of heart, got a lot of class. So many towns above Atlanta that are beautiful and calm and nice. I always think of Atlanta, Georgia, and when you go to Florida, you drive through Atlanta. Oh, I love that surgeon's kit, by the way. You drive through Atlanta, and it can be a bit of a headache, and it's just such a big town. But all of these towns north of Atlanta are great to me. I really enjoy seeing them. Yeah, and here's the kind of slave living area that they've reconstructed on the property. I think it's newer. I'm not sure they had a lot to go on, but they wanted to make sure that that was represented here. So, after you do your home tour, well, yeah, there's that picture. I know I've had it up here a couple times. Um, there's some information about the slaves on the property, and yeah, just quite a lot to see here. Yeah, there's a better shot of that picture, and then a couple shots around the house, outbuildings. Um, Kind of a big outhouse there, eh, able to accommodate more than one person. And yeah, and there's the Jimmy Carter's Roswell White House beside it. I wanted to put up a couple pictures here with it. You could literally throw a baseball from Bulloch Hall and hit it. It's that close. But yeah, if you've been here, let me know what you think. I was excited. I think it was $8 to go through Bulloch Hall. Just a really nice treat. They had nice people working there, and I had a good time.